Fantastically tasty, huh?
That's good.
All complete in Kraft spaghetti with meat sauce dinner.
Who put macaroni in my chili?
Who put chili in my macaroni?
Ever noticed how some foods that were once staples on the middle-class dinner table seem to have disappeared over the years? From the once popular cabbage rolls to traditional meatloaf, these foods were once cherished parts of family dinners and weekday meals. So join us as we explore the 20 middle-class foods that vanished from the dinner table.
You can help me save?
Sure, because Hamburger Helper can help you turn just 1 pound of hamburger into a delicious hearty dish.
Hamburger Helper, a popular American kitchen staple, debuted in the early 1970s to address the meat shortage. Imagine families around Formica tables with the smell of ground beef cooking. Hamburger Helper was a simple solution, a box with dried pasta and seasoning. Just mix it with brown ground beef, water, and sometimes milk for a quick hearty meal. Introduced by General Mills in 1971 amid rising meat prices, it helped families stretch their beef. Food Network even listed it as the third top 5 fad foods of 1970. In 2013, it was renamed Helper, and its mascot Lefty was well known from commercials and packaging. By 2022, General Mills sold it to Eagle Foods for about $610 million. Over time, varieties like lasagna, cheeseburger macaroni, and tuna helper appeared, along with chicken helper in 1984 and even pork helper in 2003.
It would be the egg foo young dragon house style. We're gonna make chicken egg foo young today.
Egg foo young is a tasty dish where omelets meet savory gravy, popular on American dinner tables in the mid-20th century. The name comes from Cantonese and means hibiscus egg, possibly because the omelet looks like blooming petals. This dish has an interesting history, originating in China where eggs and vegetables were common. It was created to use local ingredients and appeal to American taste, bridging the gap between two cultures. To make egg foo young, beat eggs and mix them with finely chopped vegetables like bean sprouts, bamboo shoots, cabbage, spring onions, mushrooms, and water chestnuts. The dish is known for its fluffy omelet patties and is usually topped with a rich brown gravy made with soy sauce, ginger, and garlic. In the U.S., it's often served with this gravy or sauce. Beef and vegetable stew is a classic comfort dish that evokes images of warm kitchens and family dinners. This hearty stew, popular in the mid-20th century, brought comfort and satisfaction to many homes. The idea of stewing food is ancient, dating back to prehistoric times. Early cooks from ancient Japan to Amazonian tribes used shells, clay pots, or dug-out holes to cook meats and vegetables slowly. In medieval Europe, tough cuts of meat were made tender through slow simmering, while root vegetables and spices added rich flavors. As settlers arrived in America, they adapted their stews with local ingredients, leading to the beef stew recipes we enjoy today. Regional variations include Irish stew with lamb, goulash from Hungary with paprika, Ethiopia's spicy wat, Mexico's birria with chiles, and Belgium's carbonade flambéed with beer. In 1994, writer Molly O'Neill streamlined the recipe to 4 key ingredients: beef, onions, carrots, and potatoes.
New Gordon's Microwave Crunchy and Regular Crunchy. The same great fish cooked however you want.
Fish sticks and tartar sauce, a classic pair that brings back memories of mid-20th century American dinners. Fish sticks, crispy and golden, have an interesting history. Introduced by Gorton's Company in the 1920s, they began as ground fish mixtures but evolved to use larger fish pieces. They quickly became a favorite for busy parents, offering an easy, kid-friendly meal with their crunchy coating hiding tender white fish. Kids loved them dipped in ketchup, while adults preferred the tangy flavor of tartar sauce. Speaking of tartar sauce, it has French origins and was originally served with steak tartare. Its name reflects its link to the Tatars, who used it to make raw meat more palatable. Tartar sauce is simple to make with mayo, pickle relish, capers, and herbs, and Hellmann's made it widely available in the 1920s.
And there you have it, our easy, delicious, and comforting cabbage rolls. I'm sure you're going to love these, and you'll make these many times.
Cabbage rolls, or stuffed cabbage, are a cherished dish across Central, Northern, Eastern, and Southeastern Europe, as well as parts of Western Asia and Northern China. This comforting food consists of cooked cabbage leaves wrapped around a tasty filling, which varies by region. Although its exact origins are unclear, some believe cabbage rolls date back to over 2,000 years to Jewish cuisine or possibly to Turkey before spreading to Eastern Europe. The classic filling features ground beef, rice, and spices like garlic and onion, creating a flavorful mix. To make them, you stuff the cabbage leaves with this mixture and then bake, simmer, or steam them. Depending on the region, they might be served with tomato-based sauces, sour cream, or even lingonberry jam in Sweden and Finland. As we savor the comforting taste of cabbage rolls, we see what other classic comfort foods have captured our hearts for over the years. Let's explore spaghetti with meat sauce.
Tasty spaghetti and meatballs with Chef Boyardee's special sauce for that great taste you just can't get anywhere else.
Spaghetti with meat sauce was once a beloved staple on many middle-class American dinner tables. This hearty dish, with roots in Italian cuisine, became popular in the United States after World War II, when returning soldiers brought back a taste for Italian food. It was easy to make, affordable, and delicious, making it a favorite for busy families. Throughout the 50s and 60s, spaghetti with meat sauce became a go-to meal, symbolizing comfort and tradition. However, over the past few decades, this classic dish has started to vanish from dinner tables. One reason is the growing awareness of healthy eating, leading people to avoid heavy, carb-laden meals. Additionally, the rise of diverse culinary options has made people more adventurous with their food choices, often opting for lighter and more varied dishes. As a result, the once popular spaghetti with meat sauce has become a nostalgic memory for many. In the mid-20th century in the U.S., potato soup was a cherished dish on many middle-class dinner tables, known for its creamy comfort and simple, wholesome ingredients. It typically included peeled and diced potatoes, yellow onions, and occasionally bacon or ham, simmered to create a rich, creamy broth thickened naturally by the potato starch. This soup was more than just food. It was a warm, comforting presence during chilly winters, often enjoyed in generous servings from Grandma's kitchen, rich with butter and cream. However, as dietary awareness grew, concerns about calories led to healthier adaptations, using chicken broth instead of whole milk or cream. Additionally, the texture of potato soup could be affected by the type of potatoes used, and shifting culinary trends moved people towards more diverse flavors. Ham and scalloped potatoes were once a beloved dish in mid-20th century American kitchens, combining thinly sliced potatoes, tender ham, and a rich cheese sauce. The name scalloped likely comes from the English word collops, meaning thinly sliced meat, as Yorkshire cooks once cut potatoes this way. Families layered these potato slices with ham, creating a hearty casserole enveloped in creamy cheese sauce, making it a staple at holiday gatherings for its make-ahead convenience. However, as health consciousness grew, concerns about the dish's high-calorie content from heavy cream and cheese led to modern adaptations using milk or chicken broth and placing cheese only on the top layer for a golden crust. This dish required precise texture management, as too thick a slice left the potatoes undercooked, while too thin made them mushy. Changing culinary trends and the rise of convenience foods eventually overshadowed this classic. As dietary trends shifted, so did the popularity of traditional dishes. So, what happened to other classics like beef stroganoff? Let's explore how this iconic dish evolved and why it's still remembered fondly.
The new hamburger helper stroganoff too. It starts with your hamburger, then adds egg noodles, creamy sauce, and a special final step, real sour cream mix.
Beef stroganoff is a creamy dish made with tender strips of beef in a rich mushroom sauce, popular in mid-20th century middle-class American homes. Its origins trace back to 19th century Russia, where it was named after the Stroganoff family and featured sautéed beef in a mustard and smetana, Russian sour cream, sauce. French chefs, possibly employed by the Stroganoffs, are believed to have refined the recipe. The first known version was written by Elena Malachowicz in 1871, featuring beef cubes marinated in salt and allspice, sautéed in butter, and finished with mustard and broth without mushrooms or alcohol. After World War II, the dish gained popularity in the U.S., and it was brought by Russian and Chinese immigrants and returning American servicemen. However, by the 1970s, changing taste and a shift towards lighter, healthier foods led to its decline. Despite this, beef stroganoff remains a nostalgic favorite, often revived by modern chefs.
Chicken and dumplings. That's right. Not only is this American classic American and classic, it's also one of the most comforting and delicious things you'll ever eat.
Chicken and dumplings are a dish with a rich history, contrary to the belief that they originated from the Great Depression or hardships during the Civil War. Its roots trace back to European culinary traditions, where medieval cooks shaped dumplings to accompany hearty stews. In America, dumplings first appear in Mary Randolph's 1836 cookbook, The Virginia Housewife, while the addition of chicken later came in Marion Cabell Tyree's 1879 book, Housekeeping in Old Virginia, featuring stewed chicken with biscuit-like dumplings. Originally, chicken was a luxury, and older, sinewy birds required hours of simmering to tenderize. Over time, the dish's name evolved, but its essence remained. Tender chicken, fluffy dumplings, and a sense of home. Modern fast-paced lifestyles may have caused its decline, but its comforting legacy endures.
Time for Campbell's Pork and Beans, tender-hearted beans, with the bright, full flavor of Campbell's own tomato sauce cooked all the way through.
Campbell's Pork and Beans, once a staple in American kitchens, has disappeared from store shelves, leaving many nostalgic for its comforting presence. Introduced in 1895, this simple blend of navy beans, pork, molasses, and spices was a quick, easy meal that graced family dinners, picnics, and potlucks. Over the years, changing consumer preferences for fresher, healthier foods led to a decline in popularity and sales. The pandemic further complicated matters, causing supply chain issues and rising costs that made maintaining production challenging. Campbell's ultimately decided to focus on newer trends, such as plant-based and organic foods, which better aligned with current consumer demands. The end of this 127-year-old tradition was met with sadness as social media buzzed with memories of childhood lunches and summer barbecues.
Shepherd's pie.
Shepherd's pie.
विलायत से है, Schwartz authentic mix के साथ बनी हुई.
Shepherd's pie, a comforting and humble dish, originates from the British Isles and dates back to the 18th century. Imagine cozy cottages and busy kitchens where resourceful cooks turned leftovers into something special. The dish's roots can be traced to the Norman invasion of Ireland in the 13th century, leading to a long and complex union between Ireland and England. By the late 15th century, England officially controlled Ireland, and Irish Catholics became peasant land workers under British and Protestant Irish landowners. During this time, shepherd's pie emerged as a practical way to use leftover roasted meat, usually lamb or mutton, mixed with vegetables and topped with creamy mashed potatoes. Working-class families loved shepherd's pie for its affordability and simplicity. It became a staple, offering a warm, satisfying meal after long workdays. However, as prosperity increased and access to diverse foods grew, shepherd's pie faded, overshadowed by trendier dishes and convenience foods. But what about the shift from traditional comfort food to something uniquely American? Let's explore the origins of Frito pie and how it transformed into a popular dish in its own right. Frito pie, a delightful Tex-Mex dish, originated in the Southwest United States during the 1930s. It emerged as an affordable and convenient meal, believed to have been created in either New Mexico or Texas. The dish features a bag of Fritos corn chips topped with chili, cheese, and onions, utilizing Fritos, which were invented around 1932 as the crunchy base. The transformation of Frito pie into its familiar form occurred in 1962 when Frito-Lay switched from paper bags to grease-proof cellophane. This change allowed the pie to be served directly in a sliced open Fritos bag, providing a convenient and mess-free way to enjoy the chili cheese combination. Despite its initial popularity, Frito pie gradually disappeared from mainstream cuisine, overshadowed by more sophisticated Tex-Mex dishes.
Too much food in these Encore Salisbury steaks.
Tell 'em, Crusher.
How can I eat all these juicy, charbroiled steaks in rich, beefy gravy?
Salisbury steak, a hearty dish of ground beef patties covered in mushroom and onion gravy, has an interesting history. Dr. James Henry Salisbury, who believed in food as medicine, created this minced beef dish in the mid-1800s, aiming to cure stomach illnesses. Originally named muscle pulp of beef, it was later named after him. During the Civil War, Dr. Salisbury gave this lean beef to Union soldiers to provide nutrition and prevent intestinal diseases. His work led to the 1888 book, The Relation of Alimentation and Disease. The dish became a family favorite and appeared in school cafeterias. Its popularity grew during the Great Depression when cooks used it as a resourceful alternative to meatloaf. The TV dinner era kept the Salisbury steak relevant, and during World War I, it was preferred over hamburgers due to anti-German sentiment. Dr. Salisbury's creation remains a nostalgic comfort food today.
Hello, this is Chef John from foodwishes.com with an Italian meatball-inspired prison-style meatloaf.
Meatloaf, a humble and beloved dish made from ground beef mixed with breadcrumbs, onions, and seasonings, has a fascinating history that spans continents and centuries. Although often associated with American comfort food, its origins trace back to ancient Rome. In the 1st century Roman cookbook, De Re Culinary, there was a recipe for patties made from chopped leftover meats, soaked bread, and spices known as pastes. This dish spread across Europe, influenced by prevalent ingredients like pine nuts. Meatloaf gained popularity in the U.S. during the Great Depression, when families needed economical meals. It allowed them to stretch inexpensive ingredients into a hearty, satisfying dish. During World War II, rationing led to the creation of meatless meatloaf recipes using substitutes like soy flour, rice, beans, and nuts. Despite its historical significance, meatloaf gradually disappeared from middle-class dinner tables due to changing taste, health concerns, and cultural shifts towards fast food and dining out. As meatloaf's popularity waned due to changing taste and health concerns, what other classic dishes have seen similar transformations? Let's explore goulash and discover its journey from humble origins to global fame.
Today I'm making American-style goulash, a classic and inexpensive dish that has been a favorite throughout my life, especially during my childhood.
Goulash, or gajas in Hungarian, has a rich history originating from the medieval stockmen of Middle Europa who needed a hearty, easy-to-cook dish during long cattle drives. This simple stew, made from ground beef, onions, and water, was revolutionized in the 16th century with the introduction of paprika from the Ottoman Empire. The vibrant red spice added a distinctive color and flavor, making goulash a beloved Hungarian staple. By the 18th century, this spicy stew, known for its robust flavors and simplicity, had become synonymous with Hungarian herdsmen. As goulash spread across Europe and beyond, thanks to the Habsburg Empire, it reached North America, where it was adapted to include ground beef, elbow macaroni, and tomato sauce. Despite its popularity, goulash eventually faded from middle-class tables due to evolving taste and health concerns about its high-fat content.
Well, let me show you how easy it is to make those stuffed bell peppers. Actually, it's quite a lot of prep.
Stuffed bell peppers were a comforting classic on the dinner tables of middle-class American families in the mid-20th century. These dishes combine the sweet flavor of bell peppers with a filling of ground beef, rice, and tomato sauce. The concept of stuffed peppers isn't new. They appeared in cookbooks as early as the 1890s, with variations including onion juice for seasoning. They have traditional versions in many global cuisines, such as Spain's rice stuffed peppers, India's spiced mashed potatoes, Mexico's meat-filled poblano peppers, Hungary's paprika stuffed bell peppers, Romania's pork and rice-filled peppers and sour cream sauce, and the Philippines' shrimp and pork stuffed peppers. In America, stuffed peppers were a popular budget-friendly choice, especially after World War II. But their appeal waned as global flavors, convenience foods, and lighter diets became more popular. Their time-consuming preparation fell out of sync with modern, fast-paced lifestyles, leading to their decline.
It's Chili Mac, a delicious taste combination of firm, tasty macaroni and flavorful, juicy beef chili.
Chili Mac, a cherished dish in America's heartland, was a staple at family dinners from the 1950s to the 1980s. This comforting meal, which first appeared in cookbooks in 1914, combines elbow macaroni with chili con carne, a spicy tomato-based ground beef stew. Its simple yet satisfying mix of tender pasta and savory beef made it popular across the Midwest. Chili Mac was budget-friendly, easy to prepare, and perfect for feeding hungry families and potlucks. However, as food trends changed, this classic dish started to fade. The rise of convenience foods and global flavors pushed traditional recipes to the background. People began to favor lighter, quicker meals over the hearty, labor-intensive preparation of chili mac, which involved boiling macaroni, simmering chili, and combining the two. As a result, ready-made meals and takeout became more popular, leading to the decline of this once-beloved comfort food. Chili mac, a staple at family dinners from the 1950s to the 1980s, eventually fell out of favor as convenience foods and global flavors became the trend. With traditional recipes fading, could another classic comfort food have faced a similar fate? Let's explore the story of the Sloppy Joe, a messy yet beloved sandwich that has seen its own rise and fall.
Sloppy Joes are neat. Barbecue sauce and meat.
The Sloppy Joe is a sandwich that's as fun to eat as its name suggests, and it's been a beloved part of American meals for over decades. Its origins are a bit tangled, with theories pointing to either Ye Olde Tavern in Sioux City, Iowa, or a bar called Sloppy Joe's in Key West, Florida. In Iowa, David Hegland served loose ground beef sandwiches as early as 1924, which were the precursors to the Sloppy Joe. In Key West, the sandwich featured ground beef in a sweet tomato sauce with onions, peppers, and spices. Its popularity soared because families enjoyed its easy preparation and bold flavors, making it a favorite at picnics, school lunches, and casual dinners. However, the Sloppy Joe's popularity waned over time. Its name, associated with being sloppy, and its reputation for messiness caused some people to shy away from it, leading to its gradual decline in mainstream meals.
We all love familiar comfort foods, but when it's really made from scratch, like this tuna noodle casserole, it's definitely a cut above the rest.
Tuna noodle casserole, a creamy and carb-heavy dish, was a staple on dinner tables in the mid-20th century. Its roots can be traced back to the Pacific Northwest, where a recipe for noodles and tuna fish in casserole appeared in Sunset magazine in 1930, thanks to Mrs. W.F.S. from Kennewick, Washington. The early version combined egg noodles, canned tuna, mushrooms, and a cheese topping, foreshadowing the modern casserole. Post-World War II, the dish gained popularity due to its affordability and simplicity. Families appreciated the easy preparation. Boiled noodles, mixed in canned tuna, peas, and a creamy sauce, often made with mushroom soup, then topped with breadcrumbs or potato chips for a comforting meal. However, as culinary trends evolved, people began favoring lighter, more modern dishes. Healthier eating and new convenience foods pushed the rich, nostalgic casserole into the background.